Alright, so here's the build I'm taking up against this quest. Should come as no surprise. I am using the 3 Hunters contract, so I cannot include ally cards. All my heroes can have an additional restricted attachment. The first restricted attachment I play costs 1 less. Once everyone has 2 restricted attachments, I flip over the contract and I get a big boost. So we have Aragorn that I have to use. So this is Fellowship Aragorn, and he can spend 2 resources to ready a hero. And then I'm going with the Gimli Legolas combo from the Sands of Harad. So Gimli spends a resource after being declared a defender to ready somebody. If that somebody is Legolas, +1 attack. Legolas can discard a card to ready a questing hero after he commits to the quest. If that questing hero is Gimli, +1 willpower. So this is great because it gives me action advantage, which you really need, because to be thematic, I'm only running 3 heroes, and they have to pretty much do everything because I don't have any allies. I did, for a while, think about using one of the tactics versions to give me access to all the tactics restricted attachments, but the action advantage these two gave each other ended up being way more important than access to tactics. So I have lots of restricted attachments, armor and shields for Gimli, Celebrian Stone for Aragorn, which will give him the spirit resource, which helps a lot. Legolas, no bows, but he has the Mirkwood long knife, which is huge for him. And then Aragorn has a couple different swords. Valiant Sword is awesome because it goes on any noble hero, and all 3 of these heroes are noble, so that helps me give a restricted attachment to anybody. Strider is also really good because it will give Aragorn +2 willpower. And then as far as events go, Elven Light. So Legolas, being an elf, he has Elven Light, and that'll help me get card draw. And then also We Are Not Idle. I get to draw a card even if I don't exhaust Gimli. Unlikely Friendship gives me a resource and some card draw. Open the Armory, which is, kind of thematic, I guess, because before they head out to chase down the Uruk-Hai carrying Merry and Pippin, they do gear up. So that's okay. It's not as thematic as it will be in the next quest, but I'm okay with it here. And then I have 1 copy of Farsighted because it's just such a thematic card for this quest where Legolas keeps looking out over the plain. The only way I can play it is if I happen to get my single copy of the Ring of Power here on Aragorn, which would give him the lore resource icon. And then Ancient Matham. Again, the card draw, I don't worry about that being overly thematic because you need card draw. But as the 3 hunters were chasing down the Uruk-Hai, they were finding stuff. They were finding things that the Uruk-Hai left behind. And, of course, Pippin dropping the leaf brooch, which is in here just for thematic reasons. So that's how I look at Ancient Matham sometimes. It's not so much just a bag of stuff in a dusty basement. It's clues and items that they find as they're traveling along on these quests. So this is the build. This is a very typical 3 hunters build. Lots of restricted attachments, card draw to get it. And normally I flip the contract around turn 4. You do have to hurry. This quest does make you run. So flipping the contract as soon as possible is very important. All right, let's go back to the table. All right, here we go. So we got everything on the table. Let's take a look at the campaign card. So it says you're playing campaign mode, remove Gildor, Inglorian, and Mr. Underhill from the campaign pool, and then remove each burden with the following burden set icons from the encounter deck. Now, it's easy to get this confused. I got it confused on my first campaign. Mr. Underhill, he gets removed from the campaign pool, so we never get to use Mr. Underhill again. We're going to leave that name behind us. It's gone. Now, these other burdens with these icons, they just get set aside and they can come back. When I played it my first time, I brought Mr. Underhill back as well. Those are just being set aside. Okay, so we do have Overcome by Grief in the staging area. So if we lose a character, that's going to get attached to somebody. Honestly, I'm just setting that aside because if we lose somebody, it's a hero. And I'm just going to restart because, 3 hunters deck. Okay, so we also have these boons, which you've seen before. So we got the one that lets us redraw a hand of 6 cards. We've got our Lembus, which is a one-time use readying. And then we also have our one-time use Test of Will with the Hotam Bombadil that'll start in our hand. So Hotam Bombadil I'll set aside. I'm going to attach these 2 attachments. You've seen it before. These are the ones that we've earned a long time ago. Okay, the contract, if you forget what it does, it says we cannot have allies in our deck, and then when each hero gets 2 restricted attachments, we flip this thing over. Each hero can have an additional restricted attachment, and the first restricted attachment we play on each hero each round gets a cost reduction of 1. So that is very cool. All right, let's take a look at side 1A, follow the orcs. Setup, make Eastonmet the active location, add Ugluk and 2 Isengard to the staging area. And then it talks about our captives, so the captives we chose being placed faced up underneath to Isengard. And then we need to set the pursuit value to 10. So I will use this Marvel Champions tracker to keep track of the pursuit value. Here is to Isengard with Merry and Pippin underneath. And this says, treat the captive's text box as blank. Captives are in play, but they are not under any player's control. If there are no captives in play, the players lose the game. And then forced, at the end of the refresh phase, increase the pursuit value by 1. Then, if there is 30 on the pursuit value, we lose. So we can't let that thing hit 30. All right, let's take a look at Ugluk. He's a 10, 3, 5, 1, 6, toughness 3, can't have attachments, and then allies cannot be declared as attackers or defenders against Ugluk. Not a problem for me because I don't have allies, but he is up in the staging area, and he's pretty nasty. Okay, let's take a look at our active location. It is a 2-3, and then when it's explored, all of my heroes get a resource. That's nice. Okay, 1B, follow the orcs. X progress needed, where X is the pursuit value. Ugluk cannot leave the staging area or take damage. And then at the end of the combat phase, increase the pursuit value by 1 for each enemy in the staging area. Okay, so the further we let these guys get ahead of us, the longer it takes for us to catch up with them, the bigger that pursuit value gets, the harder it is for us to advance to the next stage. So we want to try to get out of this stage as fast as possible. It's going to go up by at least 2 every round. 1 in the refresh phase, 1 because we will always have Ugluk in the staging area. My starting threat is 20, which is nice. And yeah, I am looking for restricted attachments in this opening hand. I have played this deck probably 10 times to get ready for this quest because it's really hard to flip the contract in any reasonable amount of time. So I really wanted to get a good feel for what restricted attachments helped me the most, what cards in my opening hand were the most needed, which character should take which restricted attachment. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care. I just want each of them to get 2, but it is pretty tricky. The opening hand is a lot more important than it has been in other quests because we're up against a timer. We got to try to beat this thing, and I want my pursuit value to only be 25 when we win. So let's see what we got. We got the Armor of Erebor. Okay, that's a restricted attachment. Don't need that. There's a restricted attachment. It's Andril. That's just in there for card draw. There's a restricted attachment with Willpower. That's what I need. And then Unexpected Courage. So Willpower granting restricted attachments are great. That is really what I need. And I got 2 of them. I got Celebrian Stone and Andril. Unfortunately, they both go on Aragorn. I got nothing for Legolas. And all 3 of these restricted attachments will cost me a resource. See, I have a lot of them that only have 1 cost. And so the cost reduction of the contract means I put them in for free. So that isn't great, to be honest. It was okay, but I would have really liked a shield for Gimli. I mean, the armor was nice, but it's expensive. There is a free shield. And then I really want the Mirkwood Long Knives for Legolas and card draw. I only had 1 card in there to draw me cards, and it was Follow Me, which also costs a resource. Those were 3 copies of Follow Me were literally my 3 last cards I put in the deck. I just wanted more card draw, more ways to find these restricted attachments. Okay, Celebrian Stone is back. Sword of Numenor. Okay, that's free. There we go. The Shining Shield is free. Strider is going to be nice. There's card draw and card draw. Oh, see, so much better. So I have 3 restricted attachments again, but they're only going to cost me a total of 1 resource to put all 3 in. So that is excellent. And I also got Strider, which is huge because Aragorn will get +2 willpower. And then we get the Light of Valinor. Okay, that's nice for Legolas. Not super needed, but also not going to complain about it. All right, Shining Shield going on a noble hero. It's going to go on Gimli. He's going to get +1 defense, +2 if we ever get up to 40. I doubt we will, but +1 defense on Gimli already for free. So he has 1 restricted attachment. I'm going to be using die to keep track of stats because it can get pretty hard to keep track of everybody's stats. So Gimli is now defending for 3. I could put the Sword of Numenor on Aragorn for free, but I know that willpower is more important in these early rounds. So I'm going to play Celebrian Stone on him. That'll give him the Spirit resource icon and +2 willpower. I really want to clear this active location. One of the ways this deck can lose is if you get location locked because you don't clear this active and then you start building up other locations in the staging area. So let's try to clear this active location, plus we get resources when we do. We're also going to put some Ancient Matham on this location, so when we clear it, we get to draw 3 cards. I like to think of this as when Aragorn and Legolas and Gimli were chasing down the Uruk-Hai, they kept finding clues that the Uruk-Hai were ahead of them, like half of a shoe and crust of bread. So that's how I look at that Ancient Matham. Okay, Unlikely Friendship. Love this card. You have to have a unique Sylvan and a unique Dwarf. And then you get to draw a card and then add a resource. So you draw the card first. Yes, Valiant Sword. So that just goes on a noble hero. So that goes on any of my 3 heroes. And then you decide who gets the resource. So you get to draw the card first and see if the card you drew needs to be paid for by somebody and you can add the resource. Let's put Strider into play. So getting Celebrian Stone and Strider was really great. So Strider is going to give Aragorn 2 more willpower. So Aragorn is now questing for 6, which is really huge, really huge. Don't expect that to happen every time. I got very lucky that those were the 2 cards I drew. And now let's play this Valiant Sword. +1 attack, and then +2 attack if my threat is 40 or higher. So we're going to put that on Legolas. So Legolas is now attacking for 4. And then if Gimli uses his ability to ready Legolas, Legolas will be attacking for 5. Unfortunately, that's still not really enough to take down these Uruk-Hai. You need to attack for about 7. All right, I have 1 more restricted attachment in hand, but that will give Aragorn his second one, and Legolas and Gimli each have 1. Okay, we're doing good. Doing good. And I hopefully get to clear this location and draw 3 cards. So maybe we can get all the restricted attachments we need. Okay, my threat is very low. Let's send Legolas and Aragorn and Gimli. All 3 hunters are going to run. We are sending 9. We are currently against 3. And we get Unseen Barrier, Treachery, Enchantment. When revealed, the players cannot place more than 3 progress on the current quest this round. This does not count progress placed on any active location. What a great card to get for your first card. That is like the perfect card to have gotten. And I made exactly the right amount of progress. I can place 3 on the quest and 3 on the active. But yeah, not getting an enemy, not getting a location, that's going to let us catch up to these guys. So let's clear the Eastman. We get a resource on everybody's resource pool. And then Ancient Matham is going to draw us 3 cards. So far this turn 1 has been just about perfect. All right, Unexpected Courage, Farsighted. I need access to lore to play that. And the 3 hunters. Honestly, I'm not very excited to see any of those cards. So I'm glad I was able to go through the next 3 cards all in one shot. And hopefully I get some restricted attachments. Okay, so at the end of the combat phase, we increase the pursuit value by 1 for every enemy in staging. And then at the end of the round, we increase it by 1. So that went up to 12. So now we need 12 progress to advance to stage 2. We're going to get all of our resources, and then maybe this card will be better. More Ancient Matham. It's card draw, but I don't have a location. So unfortunately, all I can do is play 1 restricted attachment this round. So that's a bummer. So the Sword of Numenor will go on Aragorn. He gets +1 attack, and then if he destroys an enemy with 5 or more hit points, or participates in an attack that destroys an enemy with 5 or more hit points, he gets a resource. It's a restricted attachment that goes on him for free, thanks to the contract. All right, I'm going to swap out the die. So there we go. Aragorn and Legolas both have a base attack of 4. And I think what I'm going to do is trigger Old Bogey Stories. So I got to have at least 6 cards in hand. So even though I have that Light of Valinor, I am going to play Old Bogey Stories that lets me shuffle in my 6 cards and draw 6 cards. You got to have at least 6 cards in hand to play this. So hopefully we draw 2 more restricted attachments. All right, everything's shuffled up. 6 cards incoming. And yeah, if I can flip this contract this round, that would be crazy. Of course, in all of my playthroughs to get ready for this, I was never able to flip it on turn 2. But let's see if I can. Well, there's a restricted attachment. And there's... Oh my gosh, I tell you, as soon as you turn the camera on, everything goes different. So I get to flip the contract this round. I drew 2 restricted attachments. And actually, those 2 restricted attachments are the only 2 cards I can play out of all of those cards. Everything else was unique or lore. So we're going to put Mirkwood Long Knives on Legolas. It's going to cost 1. And he's going to get +1 willpower and +1 attack. So there we go. Legolas has 2 restricted attachments. Aragorn has 2 restricted attachments. And then even though it's not the restricted attachment I would want to put on Gimli, I would have wanted a defense boost. I'm going to put the Valiant Sword on him for free. He is noble, so he's going to get +1 attack. Hopefully I draw another shield at some point, because according to the contract, everybody can have 3 restricted attachments. So I would like to boost his defense by 1 more. And the rest of my cards are pretty much junk. They don't do anything because they're uniques, and Leaf Brooch is in here because of thematic reasons, and I don't have access to lore, so 4 cards doing nothing. All right, let's send characters on the quest. I'm going to discard Leaf Brooch to Legolas's ability to ready a hero committed to the quest. It's going to be Gimli. Gimli's going to get +1 willpower when I do that. So we're going to make some good progress this round, unless we get that treachery that says we can only place 3 again. Okay, so I think we are sending a total of 11. And the card we get is, okay, here we go, some enemies. It is Ugluk's Uruk-Hai. 38 engagement, 2, 4, 2, 5, toughness 1, archery 1, and then when revealed, either increase the pursuit value by 3 or reveal an additional encounter card. I can handle the pursuit value going up by 3. I don't want it to hit 25, and that'll only put us at 15. So that's okay. All right, so 2 threat was added. We sent 11, so we are going to make 6 progress. So we're closing the gap, and then we're going to have some combat. So this Uruk-Hai straggler must have been left behind, and then, yeah, we're going to take him out here. So he is attacking for 4. He's got archery. So this contract is really good for this quest because of all the archery. All right, Gimli is defending for 3. He's going to spend a resource after being declared a defender to ready someone. That someone is Legolas, and Legolas will get +1 attack. So Legolas will be attacking for 6. All right, let's see. Oh, good. No shadow. That's nice. Gimli will take a damage from this. And then, like I said, Legolas can swing back for 6, which, you know, normally is enough to kill somebody. But it actually, you need to attack for a total of 8, because even if you do the 5 damage, 1 gets removed due to toughness. So we are going to spend 2 resources off of Aragorn. We're going to ready Aragorn. Aragorn's going to kick in his 4. That's a total of 10 for that attack. And that'll take this Uruk-Hai out. So Aragorn's ability says spend 2 resources from his resource pool to ready any hero. So he readied himself, and we were able to kill this Uruk-Hai, which is awesome. End of the round, we're going to go up by 2 on the pursuit value, 1 for Ugluk, 1 for the end of the round effect, and now we are going to flip the contract. So when we flip the contract, it says each of our heroes can have an additional restricted attachment. Each of our heroes gets +1 willpower for each restricted attachment they have, and then we can exhaust this contract to heal 1 damage off of each of our heroes. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So everyone just got a big willpower boost, and now we can be healing off damage, which is great because we do have a lot of archery in this quest. So I cannot believe I flipped this thing on turn 2. That was crazy. That was absolutely nuts. Don't expect that if you're playing along with me. It usually is around turn 4. All right, next round we draw Follow Me. Literally just spending a resource to draw a card. That's just in there to help me find my restricted attachments. Campfire Tales also could have worked, I guess. Okay, and then, ooh, that finds me the Armor of Erebor. That's great. Okay, so it's going to give Gimli +1 defense. I got to spend the full cost, though, so I got to spend 2 resources to put that on Gimli. No more cost reduction for our restricted attachments. Okay, let's make some progress. I'm going to send everybody on the quest, and then I'm going to discard a card. I got 3 cards that I really can't use, so I'll get rid of one of my uniques. And ready Gimli, he's going to get +1 willpower. So he is questing for... Actually, he's questing for 6. 3 restricted attachments, base of 2, and Legolas. All right, so I am sending a total of 18. All right, and the card we reveal... Hopefully it's not Grishnak. Grishnak would kill me. All right, nope, it's the Wold. Just a 2/2. It's a travel there. You got to raise the pursuit value. When it's explored, draw a card. So yeah, we make enough progress to progress to stage 2. Grishnak steals one of your captives and deals a damage to them at the end of the quest phase. And I couldn't handle that, so I would die if that happened. All right, we are advancing to 2A, and we need to find an Uruk-Hai. This is the one I want. He does not have a when revealed effect because 2A says find and reveal an Uruk-Hai. And they all have pretty nasty when revealed effects or archery, except for that guy. He does not. So I will grab him. All right. Let's go to 2B of rescue the captives. Pursuit value is the amount of progress we need to make. After an enemy is defeated, we can reduce the pursuit value by 1. And then we cannot win as long as Ugluk is in play, but we can kill him now. Okay, let's travel to the Wold. So we got to raise the pursuit value up by 1 more. We do not need to engage that Uruk-Hai that we found, and we're getting attacked for 5. Gimli is defending for 4. He's going to spend a resource to ready Legolas. Legolas gets an attack boost, so Legolas is attacking for 6. And the shadow is nothing. Okay, that's lucky. So Gimli will take a damage from that attack. And then I can exhaust the contract and heal each of my heroes by 1. So Gimli only has 1 damage on him. Legolas swings for 6. This guy has toughness 3. So unfortunately, only 2 damage actually goes on Ugluk. So we're going to need some help to take him down. But that is the end of the round. Our pursuit value goes up by 1. We no longer have the number of enemies in the staging area makes it go up. So that's nice. And yeah, we just need to get some progress on here and kill this guy. Ooh, Elven Light. That's a nice card. I don't super need it now. I mean, I'm actually looking for more restricted attachments because every restricted attachment that I play on a hero, and they can hold 3 thanks to the contract, gives them an extra willpower. All right, we're going to do the same thing. All 3 heroes committing to the quest. I'm going to discard Elven Light now to ready Gimli. Elven Light says you can play it from the discard pile, so I spend a spirit resource. I pull it back into my hand along with another card. It lets me draw a card. There's a restricted attachment. Okay. And then let's see what we got. Okay, Ill Fate, one of our burdens. So this is going to go on somebody. If a character is destroyed, I got to raise my threat. So obviously if that ever triggers, we've lost because I've lost a hero. And it surges into the banks of the Entwash. So just a 3 threat location. Really nasty one. Every time you place progress on it, it raises your pursuit value. So you definitely want to clear it in one go. And it's a 5 progress location. Okay, we made 12 progress. So 10 go on the quest. We cleared the Wold, which lets us draw a card. The card we draw, open the armory. Okay, that should find us some willpower. So I think it's in our best interest to not travel. Since it's only 3 threat, it would be 5 progress, and we'd have to increase the pursuit value when we place any progress on there. So let's get attacked by Ugluk. So once again, Gimli will defend. It's going to be 4 against 5. Gimli spends a resource. Going to ready Legolas. And the shadow is either increase the pursuit value by 1 or this is undefended. Okay, we got to increase the pursuit value. Not a really big deal. So we're up to 20. Gimli is going to take damage from this attack. And then if I ready Aragorn, I can attack for a total of 10, which is enough to kill Ugluk. He goes into victory display. Because I destroyed an enemy, my pursuit value drops down, but then at the end of the round, it goes right back up. So it just stays the same at 20. And we will go into the next round after I exhaust the contract and heal Gimli. Looking pretty good. All we got to do is catch up with the orcs. We just got to make as much progress as the pursuit value, and we will win this thing. Okay, the 3 hunters, I'm not going to be able to afford that anytime soon. It's got some nice readying and some willpower boosting and stat boosting, actually. Okay, open the armory. Let's play this. So I get to search my top 10 cards for an armor or weapon. And yeah, I got lots of choices here. I think the Mirkwood Long Knives is the best choice because that'll give Legolas 2 willpower and it will increase his attack by 1 more. So 1 willpower from the knives, 1 willpower from the contract. So spending 2 resources, giving Legolas his 3rd restricted attachment, boosting his willpower up by 2. And if you can't tell, I'm definitely fighting a cold here, so I'm going to try to make it through this video. Not much further to go. We're going to commit all 3 characters to the quest. I'm going to discard Elven Light to Legolas to ready Gimli, giving him +1 willpower. And then let's see what we got. Okay, we got the Isengard Uruk. So toughness, archery 2. When revealed, either assign 3 damage among characters we control or reveal a card. I'll just assign the 3 damage. That's not a big deal at all. And yeah, it doesn't surge or anything, so that wasn't much threat. I can exhaust the contract and heal that 3 damage right off. And with the 2 threat added to the staging area, we have made enough to catch up with the orcs. We are actually at 22. So that is a victory. We caught up with the orcs. That seemed easy. I've had much tougher playthroughs. That one wasn't bad. All right, so we got Merry and Pippin back. Now let's see what the campaign resolution has to say. Okay, if the pursuit value is 25 or less, we can earn one of these boons or... Wow, what's going on? It's bright. I can't see. Gandalf returns to us. Beyond all hope. Yeah, we're going to claim Beyond All Hope, and we're going to attach that to Gandalf. So Gandalf is going to come back with a vengeance. His stats are going to be boosted. And that is very cool. Okay, so you want to complete this quest with a pursuit value of 25 or less, and then you can either get Beyond All Hope or one of those other amazing boons. All right, cool. That was a very easy victory. Yeah, like I said, it's normally a lot harder to beat this quest. So I'm very glad I got the win here. And then up next is Helm's Deep, a very, very difficult quest. All right, take care, everybody. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.